Let's talk to Ladona Harvey, who I'm pretty sure is definitely a woman, co-presenter of Arizona's Morning News on KTAR in Phoenix. A very good morning to you, Ladona.
Good morning to you.
Well, I mean, I told you we were the home of common sense. I think Donald Trump and his merry band of politicians have been listening in to Morning Glory, and they picked up on the phrase, because a lot of common sense yesterday. He said it was a revolution of common sense, and it really was.
Well, I mean, you know, here's the thing. When Donald Trump promises something, he generally follows through on it. And he absolutely did. Yesterday after the inauguration, and, you know, I mean, he was bashing the previous administration who had to sit there and listen to it, which had to be terribly uncomfortable.
They didn't look happy, did they?
No. But when he got done, he signed a bunch of executive orders, about 100 of them, and they were directly related to his campaign promises. You know, like him or dislike him, it doesn't matter. Eventually, the guy does what he says he's going to do, and you have to appreciate that. And I think that's why the people who voted for him voted for him. They knew he would do those things.
And they all wanted it. I mean, we had some, shall we say, lefty broadcasters here in this country expressing disbelief that, you know, some of the things that he was doing were actually wanted by the people of America. They were like, they couldn't quite believe it. You know, he actually wants to deport people, and there are people in America who agree with him. And it's like, well, yeah, that's the process, actually. You know, somebody says, this is what I'm going to do. You agree with him. You vote for him. He gets in. He starts doing it. You know, I mean, it's just incredible to me that they don't get it.
No, and I think that's why you had such you know, such a disconnect between Democrats and the electorate in the election. They, over and over, the polls showed that immigration, illegal immigration, let's be really specific, was a top issue. We didn't know who was coming across the border, and they were coming across the border in the thousands. This is, you know, illegal immigration and immigration should not be conflated. And the Democrats for a long time have tried to put those two together as though it's all one thing. And it's not. It just isn't. Breaking into a country and applying for a visa and coming in and saying, I want to be a citizen, are two very different things. You know, we caught terrorists at the border, people who were known terrorists, and that is something that they just could not understand.
Exactly right. We have the same problem here. You know, all immigration is great. Well, no, it isn't actually. You know, and if you take that view, then you don't have a clue, because it means that you have no sort of filter and no reason to actually see that inviting people in who might be terrorists or who might be criminals is a bad thing. And the Republicans are now saying there's 750,000 illegal migrants who are criminals roaming the streets of America, and they want to kick them out, quite rightly.
Right. It's, you know, there's a very big difference between an immigrant and an illegal immigrant. And if you have broken into the country, you've broken the law. We understand, I think most of us understand the need for a better life, the wish for a better life for you and your family. By the same token, there's a process, and you have to go through the process. And if you don't, then you are in legal limbo, as all of these, you know, DACA recipients under the Obama administration, the Deferred Action Program, these people have been in limbo for a decade now. They're still not citizens. He didn't make them citizens. And you know, where are they? Why do we not have a process to bring people into citizenship if they have proved themselves to be worthwhile to America? You know, are you going to work? Are you going to take care of your family? Really, that's all we care about.
Yes, exactly right.
Hard.
It's common sense, after all. Let's have a look at some of his gems from yesterday. Here he is talking about the Gulf of Mexico.
A short time from now, we are going to be changing the name of the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America, and we will restore the name of a great president, William McKinley, to Mount McKinley, where it should be and where it belongs.
I didn't know Mount McKinley's name had been changed. Here he is about drilling for oil.
Today, I will also declare a national energy emergency. We will drill, baby, drill. We will be a rich nation again, and it is that liquid gold under our feet that will help to do it. With my actions today, we will end the Green New Deal, and we will revoke the electric vehicle mandate industry, and keeping my sacred pledge to our great American auto workers.
Yeah, I mean, again, common sense is what people want. You know, they don't mind having a green transition, maybe, but they don't want to be put out of work as a result. They don't want to be told what car they have to drive. They don't want to be told it has to be electric. You know, they want to have freedom of choice, right?
They want to have freedom of choice, and they want to have, you know, if you're going to force us into electric cars, then we have to have the infrastructure to back it up. And right now we don't. You know, I just got rid of a hybrid car in favor of a gas car. I have no use for a hybrid car right now, or for an electric car. It's expensive to get electricity right now. And until that price is moderated, I'm not plugging in anything into this house that I don't need.
No, exactly.
Outside of an air conditioner.
Yeah, exactly right. Get an air conditioner on wheels, that's fine. But, you know, it is. No, we have the same problems here. It was fascinating watching Biden, as I say, not looking particularly happy with being forced to sit there, and Kamala Harris as well. What about Barack Obama, though? A lot of people talking about him this morning, because there were pieces written last week. I think you and I spoke about it last week, that, you know, there was questions being asked about his marriage. He said he was the only president to turn up on his own.
Well, and you know, I don't know if there's trouble in paradise. I hope there isn't. I always hate to see a marriage dissolve. But, you know, again, a former president is the only one who knows exactly what it is that a president goes through. And I think that whatever, you know, despite policy differences and everything else, former presidents just have a lot to say to each other, and they are the only ones who really understand. So I think that Obama has softened a bit when it comes to Donald Trump. He probably disagrees with his policies, but he also knows, listen, voters made a choice, and that choice was incredibly clear and decisive. And this is the direction that America wants to go in, not America's politicians. Two very separate things.
And you heard the cheers there for everything he says. Let's have a look at what he said about going into outer space.
As we liberate our nation, we will lead it to new heights of victory and success. We will pursue our manifest destiny into the stars, launching American astronauts to plant the stars and stripes on the planet Mars.
Mars. It's just the way he says things, isn't it? I mean, again, it's ambitious. It's you know, I was saying it's just got echoes of Kennedy when he was talking about, you know, striving to reach the moon before the Soviet Union, and talking about, you know, how we do these things because they are not because they are easy, but because they are hard. You know, and he's really, you know, he's ambitious. He's old school. What we used to look at America and kind of be envious of, you know, ambition, you know, looking to the future, being first on everything, winning at things, you know, all of that, which is quintessentially American at the end of the day, regardless of what your politics are.
Exactly. I mean, you know, when you think of the science and technology that's come out of the space program, some incredible things, including the Tempur-Pedic bed. Thank you very much. It's, you know, it's from things small and large. Out of those explorations, wonderful things can happen because things happen along the way, and you're able to invent things that normal Americans and the rest of the world, by the way, can use. I mean, having that openness to go to the stars, to say we want to make this a better country. I don't think that those are terrible things. How he gets there, well, you know, we'll see. Yeah. It's you have a policy, and then you have the implementation, and the implementation is always a pain. So we'll see what happens. But he does
have Elon Musk on his side, and Elon Musk got very excited about this idea of going to Mars, and he can possibly do anything, this guy. Have a look.
And we're going to take Doge to Mars. I mean, can you imagine how awesome it will be to have American astronauts plant the flag on another planet for the first time?
I don't know if you can stick a flag into Mars. It's quite hard, the surface, isn't it? I don't know. You might want to take some something to put it, like a stand or something, maybe.
Maybe you get in there and dig a hole, I guess. You know, what else?
Yeah, but you see, typical British reaction. Well, I don't know if you could do that. I'm not sure about that. You know, the guy's going to Mars. Let him go.
Sure, we can.
Yeah, yes, we can. That used to be a phrase. But yeah, also Biden. The final, I suppose, question is Biden pardoning members of his family who don't appear to have done anything wrong was a bit of a weird one. I'm told he actually was putting that pardon through even as Donald Trump was actually speaking.
Well, he did a lot of preemptive pardons, including for Dr. Anthony Fauci. Right. It was the members of the January 6th committee of the House of Representatives. He was preemptively trying to stop Donald Trump from going after potential enemies. Right. You know, and that should be something that makes everybody uncomfortable. If you have an enemies list, right. I have a lot of people I don't like. Right. I don't need to see them in prison. I just don't have to employ them and or be their friend.
There must be someone. Come on. There must be someone.
Okay, I can think of maybe one person. That I like.
Exactly. We've all got one, very possibly. Anyway, listen, Ladona, good to see you. Thank you very much indeed. Co-presenter of Arizona Morning News on KTAR in Phoenix, Arizona. Let's get a voice note from Ben.
Good morning, Mike. Ben from Frimley here. After the utter joy of watching Trump and Vance come back yesterday, and Elon with his silly antics, but the man's a genius, parading around on stage, taking the USA forward, I just felt slightly depressed about the state of the UK. It stemmed all from Ken Livingstone ruining London, Tony Blair, all the way through to Boris, and ultimately Rishi, and now Starmer's just finishing the job. I'm not sure we can actually stand 4 more years of this whilst America just pulls away from us. What are we going to do, Mike?
We're not going to have to put up with 4 more years of it. That's what I keep saying. Nobody believes me. But, you know, listen, I've been right about everything so far. Just watch this space. Max in Mitchinhampton says, morning, Mike. President Mike, he says, why are so many public inquiries set up after terrible events to investigate the failings of agencies that were set up to prevent those terrible events from happening in the first place? There's no point being reactive. It's too late by then.